Pirate Shaman, this deck might just be a menace. Goal of the deck is going to be to go wide and go face. A couple of key callouts for cards in the deck. The first is going to be Triangulate. We are only running 3 spells in the deck, meaning that we will be able to tutor exactly the spell that we need at any given time. The one exception to that is going to be if you have already played Patches the Pilot, the 1/1 pirates that are shuffled into your deck are actually spells, so if you play Triangulate after that, you may not be able to hit exactly what you want to. Avatar Form is going to give us a really nice ability to be able to clear the board and potentially spike our damage, especially if our hero already has Wind Fury. Skirt Death gives us the ability to add a lot of attack to our hero, and with Wind Fury can give us some ways to deal extra damage and potentially close out the game. Muradin King puts a big Wind Fury minion on the board. He will also tutor the weapon out of our deck, and when he dies, the weapon is actually going into our hand where it's ready for us to be able to equip. Rounding out the key callouts is going to be Weapons Attendant. This will actually tutor the High King's Hammer out of our deck and equip it, and it can be very useful, especially in slow matchups, to be able to continue to tutor the ever-growing High King's Hammer. Up against Mage here, I'm going to keep the Treasure Distributor and Muradin King. I want to be able to get some chip damage in early with minions on the board, but likely Mages have been running a lot of removal from what I've seen so far. Muradin King is going to guarantee us being able to get our nice weapon in hand. I'm going to go ahead and coin out a Treasure Distributor here. If it does end up being like an Elemental Mage, we have Triangulate. We'll be guaranteed to find Avatar Form, which could be good to clear the board. And unfortunately, our opponent is able to get a clear from what they were doing. But we're going to go ahead and Triangulate, and I do like the Avatar Form here. Next turn, we may even just Flight of the Firehawk to get some buffed minions in hand, but we're not super worried about being able to deal damage to our opponent, simply because we are going to have access to the weapon at some point. Hurlock Growfin, nice little pickup. It's going to give us a couple of 3/3s on the board. And we can see it is just going to be like Malygos Arcane Mage, so we're going to want to finish our opponent before they can really get off some kind of combo. I've not really been enjoying playing against this Mage deck, because so much of their deck is actually just created by cards. Not necessarily my favorite playstyle. And the question here would be, do I want to just go ahead and remove their board with Avatar Form? I think I'm going to hold the Avatar Form just because of how much damage it can potentially put out later. And I'm just going to go wide on the deck here. South Sea Captain doesn't actually buff the Murlocs, but it does put another 3/3 minion in play. Syndragosa coming down early, but we are okay with that. We're going to be playing the High King. We'll be able to remove this minion. And our High King is actually going to survive. Our opponent's going to want to make sure that they remove this because it does have Wind Fury. But when they do, we'll immediately be able to equip the weapon. And we also have Triangulates to be able to hit Skirting Death to be able to give us big burst to be able to finish off our opponent this game. We can see that they are removing Muradin King. And they do in fact put the weapon in our hand, so they do clear the board here, but we just have so much damage that's going to be coming from this weapon. We're going to go ahead and start dishing it out right now. Even if the weapon gets shuffled back into our deck, we can draw it, or we can potentially hit it with a Weapons Attendant, which would re-equip it immediately. We're likely going to want to keep a cheap pirate in hand to be able to activate the Weapons Attendant, though you do have to control another pirate to be able to tutor that card out of the deck. We pick up an Avatar Form here. I'm a little bit concerned about Counterspell. I think I would almost like the Flight of the Firehawk to try to get us a little bit closer to the Weapons Attendant. If we went for double avatar form, that would give us 18 damage, which actually puts us relatively close to lethal. I'm going to start with this triangulate. And I'm just going to take a second avatar form. Or rather, a third avatar form. And the correct play here is probably just hold the weapon. I'm going to make the play like this, so actually choosing not to swing here because I think I may be able to kill my opponent next turn, even though they're potentially at 32 health. Pretty high chance that that's going to be an ice barrier. It is. I'm going to look to try to push through that amount of damage. See, they remove the minions here. You actually draw an additional avatar form. We're just going to put a big minion in play here. We now know for sure that it is Ice Barrier. Our opponent is at 32, but we'll be able to cast 3 avatar forms, bringing this to 18 damage. But that's going to allow us a very large amount of damage, but not going to actually be able to kill our opponent here. At this point, though, we're going to take it. And next turn, we should actually be able to kill our opponent, even with the health that they've gained here. You can see we're actually able to set them to 2. Easy win. Against the priest here, I don't think I want... I'm going to keep the Hosen Roughhouser. Really just looking for 1-drops though. Treasure Distributor would be the key card that we would want. And we actually hit it, so we might be going Treasure Distributor into Hosen Roughhouser if our opponent's not able to remove it. We see Ysera. So we're going to be expecting a bit of a slower moving priest deck, maybe some type of control priest. Might be playing the new Fabled Legendary, Medivh. And I am just going to coin out... Am I though? I don't think I am. I'm going to make the play like this. Hold on to the coin, because we do have weapons attendants in hand. I could get one of these down on turn 5 to tutor the weapon. That would be pretty good, I think. No reason to rush out the Hosen Roughhouser. And our opponent getting down Elise the Navigator. We're likely just going to Hosen Roughhouser, and I think we're going to be pushing all of our damage face. Would actually trade for the Elise. Is it worth it though is the question. To protect the Treasure Distributor, maybe it is. I think I'm going to do exactly that. So next turn, we likely get the patches down, and we just need to have a pirate survive turn 5. So that we can get the weapons attendant down. And assuming that a pirate remains on the board, and assuming that we do not draw the High King's Hammer, we're going to be equipping the High King's Hammer. We are going to be equipping the High King's Hammer. And all damage is going to be going face here. We're just looking to close out the game. And I want to go ahead and cash in my charges on the location here as well, simply because they are getting buffed. Pushing a lot of damage face. Next turn we can triangulate. Because we haven't had patches, triangulate is going to be a guaranteed avatar form, potentially putting us in a situation to kill our opponent. It would actually be 14 total damage. Weapon would be 5, and then we would deal the AoE twice. We see they are able to heal here, but we have a lot of damage still on the board. Still 2 mana from our opponent. And it looks like they're actually just going to be dead here, unless something very interesting happens. We will triangulate or avatar form. Skirt Death also would have worked in this situation. And we are going to be finishing our opponent.